Hey everyone, it's Laynie and how are you guys doing today? I hope you are having a spectacular day so far. Really, I do. If you want to see my first impression and final thoughts of the new Neutrogena Hydro Boost Hydrating Tint, then just keep watching. I'm really hoping this will be the perfect summer foundation. It is supposed to plump skin for up to 24 hours using hyaluronic acid. Does anyone else think this looks exactly like the Clinique Beyond Perfecting foundation? I mean, look at this packaging. I hope this color is okay. I think it's going to be a bit light for me right now. I do have, a little tiny bit of a tan, but we can fix that with bronzer, so no big deal. This is Classic Ivory. When I got it, I didn't think it looked too light. At least it looks to have a little bit of a yellow undertone. That might help. I'm hoping it has a wand like the Clinique. Let's see. Seriously a dupe, as in packaging, for Clinique. I don't think it's going to be nearly as full coverage since it is called a Hydra Tint. So I'm just going to go in and start applying it to my face like I would any foundation. I did already put on my primer. It has more coverage than I thought so far. I thought it was going to go on like a tinted moisturizer. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of product in the bottle. Maybe I got a half empty one? I don't know. It just doesn't feel like there's much in there. I usually use a hyaluronic acid every day, but I did skip it today so I could see how this worked on my skin. I'm actually going to use this little tiny Real Techniques blending sponge, which I need to get a new one. Oh, it's breaking. I really like it though. It's very, very, very soft. I think I'll try the other side with a brush to see how it applies. Pretty light coverage though when you start to blend it out. This color is not too bad though. It's a little light, but not bad. I will say I have redness right around here and it really, really tamed that already, so that's impressive. It actually kind of starts to set down and it's a little difficult to blend out. I'm going to put another layer on to see how buildable the coverage is. The wand feels a little bit stiffer than the Clinique wand. Just going to throw that out there. But I really like that it has a wand. Maybe not so much for sanitary reasons when you think about it, but I do love it for the application. It really cancels out redness. That's impressing me. But this one does have a bit of a yellow undertone, which can definitely help with that. So I'm not sure if the other undertones would cancel out redness so well. So I feel like it's really starting to set weird around my hairline. Like right in here, I can't seem to blend that out very well right there. Like once it starts to set to the skin, it really starts to set, which is good in a way, but maybe start in smaller patches to blend it out instead of like half the face like I did. But actually, that coverage is not terrible. It's much creamier than I expected, considering it says Hydra Tint. I thought it was going to be really liquidy. I'm feeling a little goofy today. It might be because I'm drinking this Chameleon cold brew. Getting my caffeine on. Working in a smaller section, I do feel like that blended out a little bit better, but I feel like I lost a lot of pigmentation with the brush, which is surprising. Usually you lose more pigmentation with a sponge. I'm definitely going to go in with another coat. I will say I don't love the way it looks with a brush. I can see the brush strokes in the foundation. So for this one, I'm actually going to try my Miracle Diamond Sponge for the second layer and see how that lays down. I got much better coverage on this side with this sponge. Weird. It's not covering up my blemishes at all. I feel like more redness is peeking through this side. So far, I'm getting much more pigmentation by doing little pats with the brush instead of painting it on. I think the sponge works just a little bit better than the brush, But once you kind of get the brush application down, it's really not too bad. You just have to watch that it doesn't get too streaky. I'm going to go in with the concealer now. This is the Neutrogena Hydro Boost Hydrating Concealer in Fair. Hydrating core to instantly quench skin. It also contains hyaluronic acid, non-greasy, lightweight, and it's supposed to blend out effortlessly. I don't think this would be that fair, really. I'm going to use this sponge to blend it out. It does blend out really easily. I was scared at first that it would be too light, but that is not the case. It is blending out super easily. And it does not appear or feel cakey at all. It kind of warms up to your skin and almost melts in, which is nice. I do think this is buildable to about a medium coverage. I don't think you could ever get it really past a medium coverage. But when it comes to the hot months, when it's hot and humid here in the Midwest, I do not mind a light coverage product, especially if it feels light on my skin. There's nothing worse than feeling cakey when it's hot and humid and you're sweating. Ugh. I just wish this was just a little bit more brightening. I will say I didn't feel greasy when I was moving my face until now. After having the concealer, it feels a little... I don't know if you guys all have oily skin like I do, but you can just feel it like moving your face usually, like if something feels kind of greasy, and I'm getting that feeling. Be careful when applying products on top, because I feel like this, when I went like that, some of it already came off. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put on the rest of my products, and then I will check back in to let you know how everything applied on top. So I've applied most of my makeup, and some parts of it I love so far, and some parts of it applied kind of weird. I will say when I first put on my bronzer, I felt like it was kind of patching off a little bit in some areas. I do want to point out this area right here with the blemish where I use the concealer, it looks really odd. It's like really light in just one circle, and I even put some of the foundation back over that spot, which helped a little bit, but it was like almost the concealer and the foundation weren't totally jiving together. I'm also wondering if the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer is not a good choice for primer underneath, because I feel like it's not totally clinging to my face, that it's almost like pilling a little bit. So I think that could be the primer. Next time I use it, I'm going to try it without any primer so I can really see how it works on just my skin, because I kind of feel like the primer and the foundation aren't totally working together right now. But other than that, honestly, everything else applied really well over top. Blush went on really, really nicely. The bronzer went on the forehead perfectly fine. My highlight went on great. So overall, it's really not doing too bad so far. I'm interested to see how it's going to wear throughout the rest of the day, especially since I have oily skin. Right now, I must say, when I'm looking at my reflection, it just looks like my skin. I mean, if you look up really, really, really close, it looks a little tiny bit patchy, and I think that is the primer. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think it's my choice of primer more than the product, but I mean, no one gets this close to your face when they're meeting you in person, so I'm not too worried about that. But from, you know, like 6-8 inches away, a more normal distance, I do think it looks like my skin but better, and I do feel like my skin has like a plump, youthful look right now. I really, really do. So far I'm not hating this, and I feel like it could be a really good summer option. So we will see how it wears. I'm gonna go out in the heat for a while and see how it does. But so far I'm really liking it. So I will check back in with you guys at the end of tonight. Hey everyone, I'm back. It's about 11 o'clock at night now, and I've been wearing this all day, and it has been crazy hot. It was still in the late 80s about 6:30 tonight. Honestly, it looks fairly good still because I have oily skin, so it's very hard for anything to truly last on my face. I didn't blot, I didn't add any powder, so I am definitely getting some shine here, here, and here in the T-zone. One thing I will say about this is when you're wearing it at first, it really looks exactly like your skin but better. It looks like you're wearing nothing. Like I mentioned earlier, I will not use this primer again. Next time I'm going to try to use a water-based primer or no primer, because I do think the product and my choice of primer were clashing. But even though this has worn down and kind of settled around the eyes, it's such a light wearing foundation. It doesn't get cakey. Even with it settling, it's not super visible to your eye. Like, there's some foundations that I wear, when it settles into my fine lines, it's like, whoa, it has settled into those lines. This one, you really have to be focusing and looking at the crinkles around my eyes to see that it has settled. It has worn off where I wasn't crazy careful on this side of my face. If you have oily skin, you know, you don't touch your face for anything. I made that mistake. I touched this side of my face. But for not blotting or anything, I can live with this. I do think this is a really nice summer foundation, because when I was out walking in the heat and the sunshine, it was not feeling cakey. I still don't feel greasy. Like, I just don't get that blah feeling from a heavy foundation. So definitely one I will be rocking this spring and summer now that it's getting warm out. My recommendations would be use a water-based primer. I think that's going to make a huge difference. Definitely set it with a powder. It does need to be set a little bit, and use some type of setting spray. I do think I liked the way it finished with some type of setting spray. I used the MAC Fix Plus. Did I use Pixie? Anyways, use some type of setting spray. If you want just a light medium coverage foundation and concealer that's light on the skin, easy to wear, just a nice breezy, your skin but better, naturally pretty foundation and concealer combo, this is definitely a good one. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. I would love, love, love to have you be a part of my YouTube family. Really, I would. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. All 3 places, because really, I like to get to know you guys better. That's like the best thing about having a YouTube channel, is really building a community and getting to know you guys. And as always, please try to stay positive, because at the end of the day, that is truly all we can try to do. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day.